everyone, I'm Daraj Kalath, back with you with another one-handed roll video. Now, my first one-handed roll video just went nuts. You guys just commented like crazy. I think there's something like 400 or 500 comments on the different video channels and stuff like that. So thank you very much for that. And I said if the response was good enough and all that was going really, really well, then I would do a follow-up video on applications. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And just for the sake of time and keeping it relatively short, I'm going to jump right into it. All right, so basically, all of these applications are going to be really, really using your left hand or your weaker hand. So if you're right-handed, be prepared to give your left-handed workout. And if you're left-handed, be prepared to give your right-handed workout, okay? So let's just take a look at exercise number 1. Basically what I've done is just playing a regular groove, and on count 4, we're going to play a group of 4 16th notes. Now you notice right above those 16th notes, I put 2 little marks. And now those marks are where you actually hit the rim to actually create 2 strokes, right? So hopefully you've watched the first one-handed roll video, and this kind of a prerequisite in order to actually do the stuff in this video. You need to know how to play the one-handed roll. So this, you might not know how to play the one-handed roll, but hopefully this will maybe inspire you to go back to that video, watch it, learn how to do it, and you can come to this video and start getting on with the applications. So let me push play exercise 1 for you. So if you actually look at these first couple exercises, they kind of build off of each other. The first one has the group of 16th notes on the 4. The second one has a group of 16th notes on the 3. And then actually exercise number 3 are kind of both of them put together. And it's one of my absolute favorite grooves to play with this kind of one-handed roll thing. So I'll first play exercise number 2 for you guys, and then we'll take a look at exercise number 3. Here we go. So you'll notice when I'm playing it faster, it sounds a lot better, it sounds a lot cleaner, and that's just because this kind of stuff is easier, at least for me, it's easier for me to play it a little bit faster. It sounds cleaner, up to speed. It's not something that you even would consider using at a really, really slow tempo because you would just do it with one hand. So now let's take a look at number 3. Now number 3 kind of morphs exercise number 1 and 2 together. But just to kind of give you guys an idea of exactly what the left hand is doing, the patterns it's playing, I'm just going to play the left hand without doing the roll. So I'm just going to hit the snare drum and just play the groove. And so you'll hear the pattern there, and then you'll see where you need to actually hit the rim and do the roll, marked by the little triangles, the little teepees on top of the notes. Okay? So let me first play it for you guys just without using the one-handed roll. So that's a good way to work it out just when you're learning it, because you can kind of figure out the pattern that your left hand has to do, and it'll make it easier if you have some of that muscle memory already developed. All right, so now I'm going to play it for you guys. We're going to start it at 130, which is brutally slow to play this at. You could almost do this just with one hand at 130, just because they are shorter bursts. But I'll play it for you that tempo, and I'll just suffer through every last moment of it, and then we'll put it up to 190 and show you how it sounds when it's played like it's meant to be played. So that is one of my all-time favorite grooves to play using the one-handed rule. It's one of those things I just sit down and play all the time. You would think it's like the only groove I ever have learned on the drums. So definitely a fun one, and I'm sure you guys can take it, make it your own, and do some crazy stuff with it. The next thing we're going to do with exercise number 4 is we're basically going to play a group of 16th note triplets on count 3. Now, if you're playing 16th note triplets, or if you're hearing 16th note triplets, you're going to be playing 8th note triplets. And you're going to be playing 8th note triplets above, or below, I guess, because the snare drum is below, of the hi-hat. So my hi-hat's continually going all the way to 3 and then my hi-hat hits the 4 on the snare drum, and then the and on the hi-hat. Because the left hand's too busy doing its thing with the 8th note triplets. So let me play it for you guys slow, and then we'll speed it up for you. So before you actually start even practicing that with one-handed rule, you might just want to do what I did with exercise number 3, and that is just play the left hand on the snare. Get used to actually hitting the snare drum with 8th note triplets on your left hand over top of just regular 8th notes in your right hand, and you'll have a heck of an easier time when you actually go to learn this using the one-handed rule. All right, now number 5 is basically got a lot of groups of 32nd notes in there, so you're going to be playing 16th notes with your left hand and just straight 8th notes with your right hand. So like I said in the beginning, this is going to start to just work the crap out of your left hand. You're going to be playing with it more than you've ever played with it before. So, and I also want to say, number 5 isn't a groove that I would recommend playing for a whole song. It's something that you'd like to add in at the end of a phrase, or you'll add in, while you're soloing here and there. You'll play around the kit a little bit, come back, do a little bit of exercise number 5, then go back moving around the kit all in time. I'll maybe give you a little bit of example of that right before we do the actual exercise. So let me just play around with it and show you guys how I would use it. So that's how I like to work out with all these grooves. I don't like to just play them for 2 hours straight. I like to play stuff around them. And that's where they're going to sound the best, because I've never played in a band that wanted me to play something like that the whole way through. And I've played in a lot of different bands, a lot of different groups. And yes, I haven't played in every musical situation, so you might come across it. And if you do, well, hopefully you know how to do it. But it's highly unlikely. So just learn to play around it, learn to play with it, and you'll have a way better chance. So now let me play this for you guys slow and fast with the metronome, the bouncy ball, the click track, and all that kind of stuff. Did I say click track and metronome twice? Whatever, let's just play with it. The next one, we're getting into some applications where I've seen people use it within metal or blasting. Now, those that know me know that I probably shouldn't teach heavy metal. I mean, it's just not going to happen. But these you guys could take these as like a starting point. It's be like, hey, that's cool. It sounds. Jared makes it sound like a Nancy's playing it, but hey. You can try it, apply it to your like heavy music, stuff you actually play and actually know. I'm not the guy for that metal type music, but I really wanted to incorporate a couple of these exercises in there. All right. So let's take a look at number 6. Number 6, you're basically playing your right hand on the ride cymbal. For our case, I might do it on the hi-hat or something just to keep it cleaner sounding so you guys can hear all the strokes. Then the snare drum hits on count 2, and then we have 2 groups of 16th notes on 3 anda and 4 anda. Now the left hand is just playing with the right hand on those counts. So let me just play it for you guys again without the actual bass drum. And I'll just hit the snare drum on count 2, and then I'll hit the 8th notes with my right hand so you guys can hear how it sounds. And that's what the hands are doing. You don't need to overthink it or anything like that. It's going to sound crazy. It's going to sound like mayhem because I'm doing double strokes with my feet. You don't have to do double strokes. You can choose to do single strokes if you want. But this is something that I absolutely suck at playing really, really slow, so we're going to start it a little bit faster. We're going to start it at, let's say, 170 beats per minute, and then we're going to do it up to 200 beats per minute. Here we go. So I was a little bit optimistic there. I said I'll do it at 170 and 200, and today is not a 200 day, so we bumped it down to 190. So sorry to disappoint. Just some days it just doesn't happen the same as other days. But I think it gets the point across of when you could use it. And the next one, we're going to do exactly that once again. We're basically going to be playing just 16th notes with the feet, this time just singles. And we're going to be playing 32nd notes with your left hand. Now this is something cool to do for when you're actually doing the 32nd notes with your left hand. You could hit cymbals, you could hit the toms. Eventually you want to get to the point where you can just move your right hand around rather than just leave it on the ride cymbal or something like that. So this is more used as like a fill within a groove or at the end of a phrase, but not necessarily throughout the whole song. All right, so here we go. So you guys can see metal is not really my thing. I hope I kind of gave you an idea of what you can do with it. And if you're really, really into metal and this is something that you've been wanting to incorporate into your playing, I think that kind of gives you guys a good foundation. I'm nowhere near where I would want to be if I was playing in a metal band or wanted to incorporate that into a metal band. So that's something for you guys to do, kind of take it and run with it. The last exercise, number 8, we're basically playing just a basic ostinato with our feet. So boom, 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 boom. Kind of like a bossa nova kick pattern. And then we're playing 8th notes in our right hand. Now our right hand is going to be doing kind of a melody on the toms. And now in between that melody, we're going to be moving back to the ride cymbal. So I'll just play the ride cymbal pattern for you around the toms. You guys can hear how that sounds. And then once you kind of got that, you can kind of hear it, you can sing along with it, then you can start to add in the feet, and then eventually, and probably the hardest part, is the one-handed roll with your left hand. Now, I've said it on the other grooves, and I'm going to say it again, this is not something you're going to want to play through a whole Latin song. If you're a teacher, if your band says, hey, let's play some Latin, this isn't what you're supposed to pull out the instant they say that. This is something you can throw out here and there within a song where it fits. And so that's up to you guys to use your discretion. Don't get kicked out of the band trying to use this stuff. yeah, it's fun to play. It's especially fun just to practice on your own. Once you feel you're at a certain level where you can just start incorporate it into different music and stuff like that, go for it. I rarely use this kind of stuff. I'm still got to work it out, still got to continue practicing it. All right, so let's play it. I'm just going to play the exercise for you as written. I'm not going to goof around with it. So we'll just play it 16th notes on the snare, melody on the toms, and then the bossa nova kick pattern. That's definitely something that sounds really, really cool once you kind of get up to speed and get it going with the 2-3 son clave with the melody over the toms. You got the ostinato with the feet, and then you got the consistent 16th notes on the snare drum. So practice it if you have time. You're absolutely gonna love it. One last thing. Now that first of all, that brings us to the end of our exercises. But one last thing I wanted to tell you guys about is we got something big coming up in the next little while here. Now, I'm going to play a little game with you guys, and you can choose to play along if you want. The thing starts with a D and ends with an O. And it's one word. I'd like for you guys to kind of guess what it is. Okay, what are we launching in the next couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, that starts with a D and ends with an O? Now, you guys might find it easy because you're like, oh, it starts with a D. That's easy. Drums starts with a D. But I'm not going to give you too many clues, but see what you guys can do. Post in the comments below. Let me know, what are we launching in the next couple weeks that starts with a D, ends with an O? What's the name of it? It's going to be really, really fun if anyone actually gets it. So play the game. Post in your comments below. Post if you like this lesson. I'd absolutely love your guys' feedback. If you want more applications, we can do that. It's all about you guys just posting, interacting, and building the community that way. So thank you so much for watching this video. Sorry that I butchered the heavy metal part and other parts of the lesson, but hopefully that gives you guys a good foundation to build off of. I know you guys can take this and just do crazy stuff with it. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. We're kind of going to morph those two in a little bit of a I'm going to go from there. So now let's take a look at number 3. You'll hear exactly what your left hand is doing as far as pattern. Oh, that sounded bad. How did that sound? Sure. Truncated. Since when do you use that word? Truncated. So that's what the hands are doing, all right? You don't need to do, are you sure? Okay. It's your ass if I get flamed using just your basic samba, not samba foot pattern. What's a foot pattern called? Okay, let me take it again from the end of those. And you guys, yeah, you will not. Try again. That's definitely something that's. It sounds. Jared makes it sound like a Nancy's playing it, but hey.